was born Richard Melville Hall, but you know him best as Moby. Porcelain is the name of the song we're playing right now. It's also the name of his new memoir. It takes readers back to the New York club scene, back before he'd sold 20 million records. Instead, he was living off very little, feeding his creative soul as a sober Christian vegan DJ with a deep passion for making music, a career that nearly ended before Play began. We're so pleased to have Moby join us from our downtown Toronto studios. Good morning.
Hi, how are you?
I'm so well, better for being able to speak to you this morning. I want to start with the name of the book, and we know the name of the song Porcelain as well, but I think porcelain and I think skin color, I think fragile. Why the title?
Yeah, it's basically that. I mean, on one hand, it is the name of one of my songs, but also porcelain, as you said, tends to be white and fragile, and I'm a little bit white and fragile. And also, not to be too graphic early in the morning, but halfway through the book, I go from being sober to very much not sober.
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, I spent a lot of time in unfortunate circumstances with porcelain.
It's the honesty, though, Moby, in the pages of this book that is actually, it's breathtaking because you just lay it bare. And the focus is 1989 to 1999. What was going on in your life at that point in New York as a musician trying to make it, but living very much on the edge?
Well, in 1989, when the book starts, I was squatting in an abandoned factory, and I was making around $3,000 a year, and I had no running water and no bathroom, and all I wanted in life was to DJ in New York and maybe get a little record deal. So the book sort of starts with me squatting in this abandoned factory and getting my first DJing job and moving back into the city.
And you know, I love the fact, because you say DJing job, but here you were in New York City, you're a white kid, you're playing African-American clubs, Latino clubs, gay clubs. People are looking at you like, what are you even doing here?
Yeah, it was a little anomalous. I mean, I would find myself in these nightclubs as a sober, straight white guy surrounded by this amazing African-American, gay, Latino culture, and it felt like such an honor to be a part of it. You know, I really felt like I'd been invited into this culture that wasn't my culture, but that I had this really, really profound, deep love for.
And tell me about your Christian roots, because there is this push and pull situation where, you know, I'm trying to be a good Christian, I want to be a musician, I'm an alcoholic. I mean, there are all these things going on, and at the very crux of it, there's guilt, because you're trying to do all these things and think you need to be a certain way.
Yeah, I mean, now I don't know if I necessarily self-identify as any sort of conventional Christian, just because it's my belief that we live in a 15 billion year old universe. So who am I to make grand pronouncements about the supposed architect of that universe? But throughout the course of the book, I wrestle with a very serious, you know, faith. I would be DJing until 4 or 5 in the morning, and sometimes DJing at sex clubs and DJing at raves. And then during the day, I would go teach Bible study. And I felt quite a lot of guilt about having personal ambition, because at the time I felt that I was almost called to just give up everything I have and wander around and take care of the poor and just teach Bible study.
You know, my dad, Moby, has this saying that it's always darkest before dawn, always darkest before light breaks. You were sitting there thinking, my career is over. And you were writing Play while you thought your career is over, that of course went on to be this smash hit. Give us a sense of that time and where your head was.
Well, by the end of the book, and I hope this isn't a spoiler alert, but it was early 1999, and I'd lost my record deal, I was going broke, I was battling alcoholism and panic attacks, my mom had just died, and I thought that my career was over. And so I was going to make this one last album called Play, and then go back to Connecticut and teach community college, because I'd been a philosophy student and then a philosophy teacher. So I thought I would give up my life as a professional musician, go back to teach community college, but release this one last album. And I was convinced that the album Play was going to be a complete failure. Like, I thought it would come out and just languish in obscurity and then disappear.
And it did anything but that. Listen, I could talk to you all day long, Moby, but they're telling me I have to wrap up. But here's what I will say. Best of luck. Thank you for the music, and thank you for who you are. Thanks for joining us this morning.
Thank you very much. It was really a pleasure talking with you.
Take good care.
Thanks.